Good morning, dear children. This video is for class 10 science chapter number 15, our environment, and this is a video lecture related to the NCERT solutions. So as we have done the in-text questions during the homework solutions of the lectures, in this lecture we are going to discuss the answers of the NCERT exercise of this chapter. So here we have the exercise of this chapter. First question of the exercise question is a multiple choice question. Here it has been asked that which of the following groups contain only biodegradable items. So among the given options we have to choose which one of the options is having a only biodegradable items. So let us cross check all the options. Option A is having grass, flour and leather. So here grass, flour and leather all are biodegradable. So this option is correct. Next is grass, wood, plastic. So here plastic is non-biodegradable. So this option is incorrect. Then we have fruit peels, cake and lime juice. All these are biodegradable items. So this option is correct. Then we have cake, wood and grass. Here also all the three items are biodegradable. So option A, C and D are the answer of question number 1. So the answer of the question will be option A, option C and option D. Question number 2 is which of the following constitutes a food chain? So let us check the options. Option A, grass, wheat and mango. No, this is not a food chain because here all the items given are producers. So no consumer is here. So it is not a food chain. Option B, grass, goat and human. Yes, grass can be eaten up by goat and then goat can be eaten up by human. So yes, this is a food chain. Now let us check the another options. Option C is cow and elephant. Here the category of consumers are being given but no producer is given. So it is not the food chain. Option D, grass, fish and goat. Goat is a herbivorous organism. So it will not eat up the fish. And fishes do not eat up the grass. So this is also not a food chain. So option B is the answer of question 2. Question 3 of the exercise number 3 is which of the following are environment friendly practices? Option A, carrying cloth bags to put purchases in while shopping. So yes, this is an environment friendly process because here we are using the cloth bags. Option B, switching off unnecessary lights and fans. This is also a environment friendly process because here also we are saving the electricity or energy. Option C, walking to school instead of getting your mother to drop you on her scooter. So this practice is also solving or saving the fuel. So this is also environment friendly. So option D, all of the above is the correct option. So answer is option D. Question number 4 is what will happen if we kill all organisms in one trophic level in a food chain? So what will happen? So to answer this question, I would like to tell you that in a food chain, we do have the producers, we have the consumers which eat up the producers or they are dependent on the producers for their food. So we have consumers. Consumers can be herbivorous, carnivorous or omnivorous organisms. So in a food chain, there is a requirement of producers as well as consumers. So if we kill all the organisms in one trophic level, then what will happen? Because here in the food chain, the energy flow takes place from one trophic level to another trophic level or to second trophic level. And this process is continued in the complete food chain. So if we are killing the organisms in one trophic level in a food chain, then it will lead to the increase in the population of the organisms at previous trophic level. Let's say we can have the example of grass eaten up by deer, eaten up by tiger. So here, if we kill the tigers, then the number of deers will be increasing tremendously because tiger is not here to eat it up. So the food chain will not be balanced. So here the first point is that there will be a huge increase in the population of the organisms at previous trophic level. So here grass is at first trophic level, deer is at second and tiger is at third. So if we kill the organisms at one level, then the number of organisms at previous trophic level will increase. Similarly, if we are killing up the deer at this stage, then if deers are not there, then what will the tigers eat? So that will lead to decrease the number of tigers in the next trophic level. And one more thing, that here as the food chain is passing energy from one trophic level to another, and this process continues in one direction. So if we kill the organisms at one particular level, then this will disturb the flow of energy and that will lead to the ecological imbalance. So we can say that we cannot kill the organisms, all the organisms at what trophic level, because then can lead to ecological imbalances. Question number 5 is, will the impact of removing all organisms in a trophic level be different for different trophic levels? Can the organism of any trophic level be removed without causing any damage to the ecosystem? So here the question is having two parts. First is, will the impact of removing all the organisms in a trophic level be different for different trophic levels? So the answer is yes, because the impact of removing all organisms in a trophic level is different for different trophic levels. For example, we remove the producers from a food chain. So no food will be available it would result in the death of the organisms in all trophic levels. So if the producers are not there or has been removed from the food chain, then no other organism which is dependent on those producers for their food will be able to live. But if we remove the herbivorous organisms in a food chain, then what will happen? The carnivorous, because we have the producers, then we have herbivorous and then carnivorous. So if we are removing the herbivorous organisms from a food chain, then carnivorous organisms, population of carnivorous organisms will decrease because of the unavailability of food on which they were dependent. In that case, what will happen? Here, the carnivorous in population will decrease, but the producers, they will increase in numbers, because here no other organism is eating them up. So population of producers will increase and carnivorous will decrease in numbers. So here on different trophic levels, the removal of organisms from one trophic level is putting different impacts. Now let us move on the second part of the question. It says that can the organism of any trophic level be removed without causing any damage to the ecosystem? So the answer is no. Organisms of any trophic level cannot be removed because if we do this, then ecological imbalance will take place. As if we remove one organism or organisms at one trophic level in a food chain, then as each organism in a trophic level is dependent on the previous trophic level organisms, then this will make the survival of one trophic level in danger. So this creates an ecological imbalance. So organisms at one particular trophic level cannot be removed without causing any damage to the ecosystem. It will cause damage to the ecosystem if we remove this. What is biological magnification? Will the levels of this magnification be different at different levels of the ecosystem? So children, we know that biological magnification is a phenomenon by which harmful chemicals are accumulated in the tissues of organisms present at higher trophic levels in a food chain. That is called as biological magnification or biomagnification. And you must be aware of the reason that why does it happen? Why does the chemicals get accumulated in the higher organisms? Because the fungicides, herbicides or pesticides which are used to protect the crop, they are finally going to add up with the soil and water. So from the soil they will be transferred to the plant, because the plants, they take up the water and nutrient from the soil only. So from the soil they are entering into the plants, and from the water bodies they can enter into the plant or any other animal. So that means these chemicals, they have a tendency to enter into the food chain, and they will keep on transferring from one trophic level to another trophic level in a food chain. So as we know that when nutrients are getting transferred from one trophic level to another, finally they are going to accumulate in the body of the final organism or in the organism which is at the end of the food chain. So that's why chemical substances or harmful chemicals, they get accumulated in the tissues of organisms present at higher trophic levels in a food chain. Second part of the question says that will the level of this magnification be different at different levels? So the answer is yes, because the highest concentration of these chemicals will be there in the higher level organisms, higher trophic level organisms, and it will be least in the organisms present at the lower levels in an ecosystem. Question number 7 is, what are the problems caused by non-biodegradable waste that we generate? Children, as we know that biodegradable waste does not decompose naturally. For example, plastic, polythene, these substances, they cannot be degraded by natural processes or natural biological processes, because the microorganisms that are able to degrade the biodegradable waste, they carry such enzymes that can break the complex substances into the simpler one. But non-biodegradable waste are the one which cannot be broken down into simple harmless substances by those microorganisms, because they do not possess those kind of enzymes which can work on non-biodegradable waste. So there is no natural process by which they can be converted into simple harmless substances. So as they cannot be degraded by natural processes, they create so many problems, and some of them are that they create air, water and soil pollution. For example, the harmful gases, or when the polythene is burnt, it creates harmful gases and releases them into the atmosphere, which causes the air pollution. Water pollution. Whenever these biodegradable substances are getting added up into the water resources, then they are polluting the water. Soil pollution. When all these items, all these kind of waste, they are present on the soil or on the earth's surface, then they are also causing the pollution to the soil. These non-biodegradable waste, they also improve or increase the biomagnification, which is a process in which toxic substances get deposited into the tissues of organisms at higher topic levels in a food chain. So when they will be present in the air, water, soil, then they will increase the biomagnification process. They are unhygienic. They are creating unhygienic conditions in the environment. So these are the problems related to the non-biodegradable waste. So in this series, we have the next question. Question number 8. If all the waste we generate is biodegradable, will this have no impact on the environment? So children, what do you think? If we are saying that biodegradable waste is good because it can be degraded naturally, so will it be having no impact on the environment if it is produced in a large amount? So I would like to tell you that increase in the biodegradable waste is having both kind of impacts, positive and negative. So first, let us see the positive impact of it. So, because we know that when the biodegradable waste is getting generated, then decomposition of that waste will release the nutrients in the soil, because this is the natural process done by the microorganisms, and because of the breaking the complex substances into the simpler one, what will happen? We will get the nutrients. So these nutrients are getting added up into the soil. So soil replenishment is taking place. But what will happen if this biodegradable waste is a huge waste developed? Then what will happen? Then it will have a negative impact on the environment, because too much waste will make the degradation process very slow. Why? Because if we have a lot of biodegradable waste present in the environment, then the number of microorganisms which will degrade the biodegradable substances will not be sufficient to convert this biodegradable substance into the degraded or compost. So that process will become slower because of the insufficiency of the microorganisms which are degrading them. Because number 9 is, why is damage to ozone layer a cause for concern? Why we should be attentive towards the ozone layer depletion? What steps are being taken to limit this damage? Or whatever steps has been taken, that we have to explain here. So that to recover this damage or to slow down this damaging process, what are the steps that has been taken? So damage to the ozone layer is cause for concern because ozone layer acts as a protective layer. It protects against the ultraviolet radiations which are coming from the sun. So if ozone layer depletion is happening, then what can happen to us if this damage keeps on going? So this damage will lead to the increase in the ultraviolet radiations that are reaching to the Earth's surface. And finally, the ultraviolet radiations, which are very harmful to us, they will cause several health problems, not just to humans, to all the living organisms, because ultraviolet radiations are so harmful that they can cause health problems like skin cancer, cataract or another eye ailments. So to protect ourselves from them or to make our survival possible, in near future, we need to take a step to protect the ozone layer, which is now getting depleted because of the use of chlorofluorocarbons and ozone depleting substances. Let us see what are the steps which has been taken by the government authorities. So UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Programme, one agency that has signed agreement with its member countries to stop using the chlorofluorocarbons and its production. So there a complete ban is there on the products which are releasing the chlorofluorocarbons. So that is also a great step which has reduced, or at least by this agency one step has been taken which will help to control that damage to the ozone layer. So this step has helped in keeping chlorofluorocarbons emission under control to some extent, although it is not helping in a very great manner. But yes, if we keep on doing this, if we keep on stop using the chlorofluorocarbons, or if we are aware of this, that chlorofluorocarbons, they are creating a problem. Not just chlorofluorocarbons, there are other substances, for example aerosol sprays, then some ozone depleting substances. They all can cause the damage to the ozone layer. But if we are aware and if we follow these steps taken by the government, then we can help, we can contribute to control this damage. And as we know that one ozone hole has already been created in the ozone layer over Antarctica. So even if we continue doing, or we continue not to use the chlorofluorocarbons, then also it will take hundreds of years. So this is a great initiative taken by the government authorities in this regards. So children, this was all about this chapter, and we have done the exercise as well. So I hope no problems will be there in the solutions of NCERT exercise as well as in text. Now the homework for this lecture is a post-text assignment 1, which will be available at EdQuark website. So please go and check the EdQuark website for this assignment. This will also be available on the WhatsApp groups. So do that post-text assignment in your fair notebook and submit it on Monday. So till then, take care and goodbye.